Welcome back. Cocoa Road in Ilupeju has always been a residential area. It therefore came as a surprise to residents of the area when a bank decided to set up there. The Ilupeju Landlords Residents Association asked the bank to relocate due to security challenges. They also called on the Lagos state government to reclassify the road, which was recently designated as a high street where commercial activities can take place. Now, should banks be located in residential areas? Also, can residential areas be wholly residential in Lagos State? It's your view. You can let it count. Call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at Your View TVC. We'd like to hear your thoughts on it. All right. So, in the Ilupeju case is just a case study, really. But generally, we have banks springing up everywhere. And yes, we talk about the convenience. But on the other hand, there's still a security argument like, okay, this is what I did today. There are armed robbers here doing this, doing that. In the residential area, is it the best thing to have banks in residential areas? Because when you go outside the country, I don't think you see banks in residential areas per se. You might see them in the strip mall where you can go and get your ATM, but that's about it. Where houses are, you don't see banks there. What are your thoughts on this? Anybody want to jump at this? Nima, you want to go first?
Okay. For me, I think it's a welcome idea. It's a good thing to have banks around.
Okay.
Because the POS thing doesn't really work everywhere. Okay. You can find yourself in a very terrible situation where you have an emergency. Where I live, Satellite, for instance, you have to walk some distance to get some banks, to get to the bank. And then you have an emergency. Probably I have my baby, she's sick, and I'm on the way to the hospital. I need cash. Do you understand?
But remember before we had ATMs?
The ATMs
days, how did we survive?
Then we used to carry cash, and then there was serious security wahala.
Okay. What I want to say regarding having banks or heavy commercial activities like banks signify within residential areas is one, residential areas are supposed to be where you come home to rest. In most cases, when you have banks, there is major traffic at every point in time. We suffer it on our road, coming to the office, leaving the office every day, day in, day out, because you have banks all lined up together when you're going out.
Everybody's reversing, coming out,
it's not safe. It is uncomfortable, and I feel that the case of the excuse of, okay, insecurity is also part of it, but the excuse of convenience of banking close to you I don't feel it holds water, because everybody now has POS. Every community, every hospital, in most cases, they have POS. You can use
the actual banks.
You don't need to have that cash at hand.
No, you need the cash, but you don't need the banks to be that close. Yes, Nima.
They want to give me new names. The thing is, Tokwe, the traffic you're talking about is because people have refused to embrace technology. Like for me, the banking happens right inside my bedroom. I go online. It is only when I have to make a deposit that I go to the bank. Usually all my transactions, anybody that knows me knows that I don't hold any cash. And it's so bad sometimes I'm almost coverless. I don't hold cash with me. So I feel it's a good idea to have banks around residential areas, but I feel that those kind of banks that you have there should deal with less of cash and more of e-banking.
No. Residential area, okay, imagine if on my streets, I want my children to be able to walk outside and ride a bike. I want my children to be able to stroll and say they're going to see their next friend without being scared of being hit by a car. Residential area is supposed to be a calm area, not commercial activities. That is why they have districts, each area, and you don't just turn, because they don't change the rule.
I was born and raised in Bagada, right? So Ilupeju is close by, is the next county after ours. And I remember Cocoa Street, it was purely residential. It was a nice, clean,
cool area.
But now it's like, goodness me, there are cars everywhere, honey, pee, papa, down for everybody. I'm not sleep. What is going on?
That's what I'm saying. But hold on. If you have internet banking, the traffic you're talking about and that busyness, you would not find it.
Internet banking is one argument, but there are other arguments of the insecurity.
Imagine if you have a bank. Sorry, Nima. Imagine if you have a bank, for instance, and you just walk in. It's only computers you're saying. It's a bank, but it's not meant to
drive in. You're driving in is what's causing people like me inconvenience. Yes,
look at it. You are all looking at it from your own angle, but I think they are creating jobs. We are talking about jobs here. For instance, imagine the number of graduates that turn out every year. And then this bank is just trying to open up on a high street now, like it's called now. And then, you know, they will employ certain people, at least 700 will work in that bank.
True.
So they will create jobs for people.
So you're saying the benefits are the fact that you're creating jobs.
Are there.
And see, that's why the town planning and the town planning people are there to do their job, which is to designate residential area. If it isn't important to have a residential area separately, they wouldn't designate such areas. I hear
very clearly, but I think we've become so Nigerianized in the sense that
we don't even have regard
we don't have regard for those kind of things, because we are used to the generator noise. We're used to the downfall driver pressing horn. We're used to the car driver, right? You know, we're so used to that, so that it's for us, we don't even see the essence or the benefits of having a residential area.
Thank you for bringing that argument, because you see, if you're restricting just banks, then you will restrict what's it called, shops. You restrict all this marijuana gathering in front of your estate gate, or bikes gathering in front of your estate gate. You will restrict all those things. Why must it be banking? I said, for me, banking can be done in an easy way. If it's for instance an e-bank, there's no bank, there's no e-bank. You will see crowds the way you will see what's it called, banks.
You want to disappear and appear at the e-bank? Won't you drive to the place?
Won't you go? It's in the neighborhood. You can go down. No, it's because we are so lazy, Murayo. We are so lazy. Look at this. There's a church right at my junction. A lot of people live within the estate. Why do they still have to drive all the way to that church?
I have Taiwo. Good morning, Taiwo. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Good
morning to you.
Good morning, go ahead.
Okay. Who am on your side? Probably I'm on your side. Employment. As much as they're employing, they are sacking every time. I live at the solo. The archive is a very, very terrible road to work on. From afternoon till 9, you have like 5 banks. You have 2 eyebrow bars, you have a very big church, and you have schools. Then you have shops, you have, worst of all, you have a filling station between 2 schools. Then you're telling me
thank you, Taiwo. I think what Taiwo is bringing us to is like, it's even beyond the banks. It's everything.
That's what I'm saying.
We have petrol station, we have strip malls. And that, honestly, I actually agree with her, because the truth is that everything is still part of the problem.
Everything.
If you want to call a street a highway street, if you want to call a street a highway street, should it be a double carriage street? When you want to have 5 banks on the street, that means it's a major commercial hub. It shouldn't be a double carriage street. It should be wide enough to take cars going in and going out. What is our town planning do? You don't just come up and say this street has not become a highway street.
Wait, hold on. The challenge we're having right now is not even the banks. What we have is we don't have proper transportation system. Everybody is so lazy. I want to walk to the junction here. I will pick up my car instead of walking down to the junction. I'd rather drive down to the junction. So what are we saying here?
Poor road networks.
If you want to have a road network, poor transportation, as well. Poor transportation, because if you want to say that we're not supposed to have what's it called, anything commercial within any residential area.
I'll come to Nima, because Nima is in support. You're saying that this is a good thing. So we're going to talk about the advantage of it. But let me take Ayo's call first. Good morning, Ayo. Are you there?
Yeah. Okay. Morning, ladies.
Morning.
Yeah. What you guys are discussing is a very, very interesting topic.
I can't hear you. Could you speak louder?
What you guys are discussing is a very interesting topic, and I'm going to give kudos to you all. The thing is, right from time, from for years now, I've been thinking the urban and regional planning of the country doesn't really function well. That's because that's my big issue. You go around. I almost sometimes to get paid. These structures popping up everywhere. There's that happening. All kinds of things, So it's just crazy.
Well, I'm having trouble hearing you. I'm sorry.
It's a bit mobile. But what he's saying, I think, it's about the urban planning and all that. But you see, if you look at when you go on the roads, the Lagos-Badagry Expressway, that, for instance, that is being fixed, a lot of houses, they have, when I see the shapes, it's so funny. Some look like a very tiny rectangle. I say, how do people live inside? Because they've cut the houses in half because they are expanding the roads. If you want to follow urban planning, it means that a lot of places will be crushed. A lot of places
because if you want to benefit the money.
But when the governor is crushing it, is it not the same citizen that will come out and say that?
Okay, let's talk about the advantages, because the truth is that we've established one fact that it really goes beyond the banks. That there are other facilities, structures that are kind of
Inconveniencing
encroaching on the residential space. However, the advantages of these facilities, like the church,
it's
the
a
mosque,
beautiful thing. The hospitals. It's a beautiful thing.
The little shops here and there,
Can I just put
the
in
banks.
something?
Let me go to Nima. What are
And
your
the
thoughts on that?
schools as well.
What are your thoughts on this whole advantage?
I think, I'm in total support of this. I think that is advantageous. Number one is that they are creating jobs. Number two, they'll give social responsibility back to the community, to that area. And then number two, no, they will.
Banks, are they helping
Look
us
at,
yeah.
for instance, I think there's an avenue on the island, IKOI or VI, Zenith Avenue.
That's all they do there.
They do the lights, they do everything. They do.
That's Zenith now.
It's going to come here. It's going to come here. It's going to come there.
Well, waiting.
It's going to come.
She said something about getting money, and that's why we should have community banks. You know, Soludo tried introducing microfinance bank, community
So where will
bank,
they put the
banks
community
that
bank?
listen, those small banks have less traffic, cater to more of your one-on-one needs. Those can be within residential areas to help you.
There was a microfinance
Small
bank.
transactions
before we go into
for
that,
small
let's speak
transactions,
to
but
CHUKS.
major transactions and major banks shouldn't be within the residential area.
CHUKS, good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, hello, good morning, Mariah.
Morning. Go ahead.
Yeah. I love your view, what you're doing. I commend you for that.
Thank you.
All right. As you can see, there's everywhere there's problem. Like we have bank, like the one here in the IKOSI. You can see how the Kemaroa and other people are clustered. Even everywhere is busy. So it's just in every area.
All right. Thank you very much, CHUKS. CHUKS is restating the problem.
Well, please, can we?
There was a microfinance bank, hold on, right inside my estate, and they chased them out, claiming that they didn't want them inside the estate because it's strictly a residential place. But we've seen that a lot of buildings have been converted to offices, a lot of buildings have been converted to shopping centers, a lot of buildings have been converted to different kind of commercial ventures. So what are we saying here? You know, you cannot isolate and say that banks should not be in a community.
Who gives the approval for all these buildings being taken up? So when the government gives, like I'm using an example of CMD Road, when the government gave approval for like 5 banks to line up on a road that is just a one-way road, what were they thinking? Were they considering the fact that people live is a major link road to CMD, Shangisha, IKOSI, GRA? Were they thinking about it?
One-lane road.
And is it just one lane road?
Let's go to round up this segment. Let's take some tweets.
Mark says, banks in residential areas is a welcome idea. The advantage are just boundless. Insecurity is there, banks or no bank.
Thank you.
Ugu Emmanuel says, good morning to you, beautiful. I'm not watching. Okay, sorry. Didi says, the residential area is meant to be calm and safe, especially for our kids, security-wise. It is not just the bank that should be looked into. There are other ventures also. Bola Soye Yusuf says, we can only have ATMs in residential areas. Please, do not locate banks on Koko Road. I grew up in Ilukweju. Robbery is high there already. Godi says, bank in residential areas could be tolerated, but petrol station in such areas should be outlawed. Says it aloud.
Okay.
And that's all.
We have to round up on that because the truth is that, yes, there are benefits
I
and
just
there
want to say something. Sorry, Maria. Sorry. You said they should locate ATMs there. We heard a story about someone that went to the ATM and he was killed, the journalist. So no matter what is being put there, it is not whether the bank is there or not that will guarantee security.
To argue that, you know that if you have a residential area and all you have are ATMs, it's easier for you to monitor who and who is coming in and out.
Yeah.
But if you have a bank where vehicles are coming in, there's traffic going on here and there, it's hard for you to monitor. But in a community where there's an ATM, there's a camera, you know, okay, Mr. A went to this place and killed Mr. B. Yeah. You know, it's easier for you to monitor that way. So maybe that's why it might be a better idea to have
ATMs will take deposits right now.
Areas. All right, anyway, we need to move on. Nurturing your talents is next on Let's Talk. Stay with us. We'll be right back.